People of the internet, welcome back to another video. It is I, Don Thomas, back in here with another one. As always, folks, greatly appreciative of the likes, the comments, the subscribes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the support. Without further ado, folks, let's dive into today's topic, man. Talking about WorldCoin today. Now, mind you, of course, I'm not the biggest cryptocurrency. I'm not going to say that I'm the most knowledgeable. I think I know surface level of what maybe anybody knows when it comes to cryptocurrency. A few weeks ago, Sam Altman, who, if you guys remember on a previous video or just maybe heard his name in general, Sam Altman is the founder and creator of ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT 3, 4, 5, or whatever version they're on now. Sam Altman first step up on the scene by announcing the use of or the creation of ChatGPT. And of course, we already know, mixed reviews, how people feel about that. Is it helping society? Is it hurting society? That's up for you to decide. Sam Altman is on to his next quest with what I'm learning is called WorldCoin, folks. But this one's a little bit different. Folks, this one now, as I mentioned, of course, crypto, we've kind of all heard of Bitcoin and Dogecoin and this, that coin, whatever the case is. All pretty standard, right? This one is a little bit unique and it caught my attention. I want to get your thoughts on it. Let's go ahead and watch a real quick clip, if I can speak, a real quick clip. That's detailing a little bit more about what WorldCoin is, where it's already been debuted. You'll learn a little bit. Of course, we'll watch the video and then come back and divulge a little bit. I'll share my thoughts. Of course, I always want to encourage you to drop your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and dive in.
This silver sphere, now the subject of privacy concerns across the world. An eyeball scanning machine promising to prove just how human a person can be in the fast-growing world of artificial intelligence. It's called the WorldCoin Orb, and it's the latest passion project by the founder of ChatGPT.
You need to confirm, yes.
It's a world of authenticity that works like this.
To start, simply download World app. To sign up, just find the nearest orb right on the app.
What this commercial fails to mention is the biometric data that is then collected in exchange for a digital ID. Some of those orbs found in Nairobi, Kenya, where authorities are now scrambling to suspend operations, saying there are too many unknowns. Over the last week, more than 350,000 Kenyans have already gotten their eyes scanned here by the device in Nairobi. New users exchange their biometrics for WorldCoin cryptocurrency equaling about $49 US. One Nairobi resident saying in part, "I found it online, applied. When I got here, I found people queuing, and I applied and they scanned, and now waiting for the money." Kenya's Communications Authority now questioning where the data is being stored and what WorldCoin is doing with that information.
All right. So there you have it, folks. WorldCoin, again created by Sam Altman, founder and CEO of ChatGPT. Interesting. So here's my take. Here's where I stand on all this. Like, out the gate, it raises some red flags to me, right? But then you think about some of the technology that's already present. All right, let's backtrack. So here's my stance, because I kind of, again, I want to get better, and I feel like we all should get better at having an opinion of our own, volition, right? But then ultimately being able to see the other side of opposing views. Like, so it's like, in doing so, you got to be able to, stand on what you believe whatever it is you believe, and then, entertain to challenge or test your ideas, your theories, listen to the ideas of the opposing argument. So here's my thing in terms of like cryptocurrency in general, right? Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not a fan of cash at all. Like, so like, I like the idea of cryptocurrency. And again, I'm not going to say that I'm the most knowledgeable of what I make to understand of it. I'm not mad at a cashless society. Coins are annoying. Physical cash is annoying. There's safety mechanisms or safety, aspects that you can say that goes into it, whatever the case is. And of course, one would argue that there's just as much, detriment of using cryptocurrency as well too, hackings and getting information stolen, yada, yada, yada. But overall, like, I'm okay with doing away with cash. Now, of course, people say there's more regulations. If you're familiar with blockchain and cryptocurrency and how it's, trackable by the government, they can restrict things, this, that, and the other, and I get all of that. I do get all of that. But yeah, in terms of, I'm speaking more so from a stance of just convenience. I don't like carrying cash. So I am pro cryptocurrency, right? As I mentioned, this one in particular is different. WorldCoin is different because this is the only one that's actually to scan your eyeball, your biometric data, right? Why do we have to scan our eyeball for this one, Mr. Sam Altman? You're on a hot streak right now, Sam Altman. You're 1 for 1 of releasing and being pro questionable technology, in my opinion. ChatGPT, of course, you hear the pros and the cons and this, that, and the other. As I mentioned, of course, on this channel, I stand in the middle for now. Kind of leaning a little bit more to the skepticism side, but I'm in the middle with ChatGPT and AI and advancement, whatever the case is. So it's like, if it wasn't enough, Sam Altman was like, yo, I can do you one better. I'll do you one better. Let me create another sketchy piece of technology that's going to drive us into the future. Let me create a cryptocurrency, but with this one, we want to scan your eyeball first in order to further authenticate, right, you being a human. That's all it is, supposedly, right? So on the service level, it's presented as that. They always, hey, man, all we want to do is, right, these companies will always present, hey, look, man, all we're trying to do is connect. What was Facebook, all we want to do is connect people, said Mr. Zuckerberg, however many years ago. All we want to do is just a way to, keep up with your family members and your loved ones. They'll give you like the surface level, they'll always pitch you first as surface level benefits. Like, oh, don't you want to be able to stay in communication and connection with your friends and your loved ones and this, that, and the other? Don't you want to woo woo? So with this eyeball thing, with this orb, WorldCoin orb, whatever they're calling it, it's just more so a ploy of just like, hey, man, don't you want to be able to verify that you're a human? Which, on the contrary, I would agree. Hear me. I would agree that it is going to get trickier and trickier for humans to classify as themselves as a human online. With the advancement of all the technology that's being built, partly of Sam Altman, which is a creator of ChatGPT, which is responsible for writing scripts, doing papers, it can do a lot, right? So it's like, He's using this WorldCoin orb as like, hey, man, we want to be able to further authenticate you as a human in comparison to the other technology that it created that is going to make it hard to authenticate that you're a human. It's funny. It's funny to me when you break it down like that, man. Like, my man's on a roll. My thing is this, though, right? And another thing that I thought was interesting, because mind you, I can almost quote him. I don't know where he said this, but I think I did see in a clip. I might have did a video on this earlier. Sam Altman was the same guy that said, hey, man, sometimes you want to get, which is going to tie into my next point that's a little bit iffy to me. When he first was talking about the threats of AI, whatever the case is, Sam Altman also said that, hey, man, when it comes, all right, this was back when they were talking about like the 6-month pause. Should, there be a pause on the AI technology and this, that, and the other, more so because of the threat that it's posing, right? Sam Altman was one of the guys that was pretty vocal in saying like, hey, well, you know what? We shouldn't necessarily stop because like, if we slow down now, we give our competitors or our adversaries 6 months, as an advance, in terms of development of the technology, right? So, and I interpret that as, kill or be killed. Like whoever can get their hand on the button first is most likely going to be the one that's going to come out victorious in that situation. So Sam Altman was the same guy that voted, hey, man, nah, let's not stop. We're all in now. Why slow down on an AI advance or whatever the case is, yada, yada, yada. So it's interesting to me that this was not made available in America, right? WorldCoin is made everywhere in the world but America. If you are a resident of the United States, a citizen, whatever the case is, or take residency in the United States, you are ineligible to own WorldCoin through this orb. It's only event. I want you guys to do your own research as well too. Anything that I say is just like research it as well too. Educate yourself on some of these things, right? So it's like this WorldCoin is only available in other countries of the world. You got to go to the orb. Like, it's not like it's a lot. It sounds like a lot to just be an owner of this coin, which we didn't have to do that for all these other coins. Mr. Altman, what's so special about your coin where you feel like you need to scan biometric data, the eyeballs of humans, just so we can be able to be, owners of this form of cryptocurrency? There's others like it that don't ask for very little than that. And to rebuttal and say, oh, well, we just want to be able to further authenticate that you're a human, which I would agree, yeah, it's going to get harder and harder as I've been saying, as the advancement of deep fake starts picking up, as the advancement of ChatGPT starts picking up. Yeah, it's going to get very hard to determine, hey, am I actually talking to a real human or am I talking to a robot? I've spoken that as well before as well too. So it's funny that the guy's presenting a problem and a solution in terms of saying, hey, man, scan your eyeball into this orb so that way we can be able to make sure that you're a human. And trust me, your data is in good hands. My thing is this, right? It's not like this technology doesn't already exist. Like, we've been scanning our faces and fingerprints thanks to Apple for some time now. Like, so I never want to be hypocritical or naive and forget, like, hey, man, you know you're already doing this, right? Like, in terms of tracking, like, that's why it's like, yeah, still protect yourself. You want to protect as much of your data as possible online. But a good chunk of this, it already exists. Like, we're already scanning our eyeballs. What is it, Clear? What's the thing at the airport? That one blew me. But it's like, hey, man, you don't want to stand in this line, don't you? And then the people will come up to you like, hey, scan this and do that, so you can walk past this line. And then it's like the iPhone. I'm not going to lie. There's apps on my phone right now that unlock with face scanning, you know, and my phone was, I think I used a regular number pad for my phone, whatever the case is. But there's apps right now that I use Face ID. There's, you know, your debit cards and credit cards have chips on them, man. We're being tracked 100%. I'm just like, damn, bro, do you want to leave us with any type of dignity? Do you want to leave us with anything? You want to scan our eyeball now too? And it's just like, come on, bro. These are the things that seem a little bit sketchy to me. And you see how, you know, of course, the people that are most vulnerable, the people that are most in need are the ones that are going to jump all over this opportunity, man, and be the guinea pigs. And Kenya's calling out right now. You saw it in the video that they're calling around like, yo, slow down, man. We don't even know what this man wants to do with our biometric data. You know, we don't even know what the long-term effects of, you know, what are the cases. Is this type of information going to be a commodity 5, 10, 20 years down the line? Right? Is it going to be, you know, who knows? And he'll just end up selling it to the highest bidder. And of course, they're going to say that, oh, no, we don't, you know, we're not selling your information. We're not. Yeah, man, you'll sell it to the right bidder. You know, there'll be a leak or a breach. And, you know, that stuff is happening now. People, that stuff is happening now. All the companies that say, oh, we're not going to leak your information, they're getting breached. Gmail, Google, what's the one? What was it? What was the one joint? The one... what is it? Turbo. It was a bunch of places that had T-Mobile. Like, the list is long of places that have already given your data. It's been breached. It's been stolen. Yeah, right. They probably stole it to the highest bidder. So this would be no different. So it's just like, it seems as if we're being left with no sense of privacy, no sense of, you know, they're presenting this as a defense against online interactions and this, that, and the other. Yeah, and it might be, maybe this is going to be, you know, to verify yourself in the digital realm. Like, yeah, because people can impersonate you so easily with a fake account. How many fake accounts do you see? How many, you know, we tried with verifications and badges, this, that, and the other. Now anybody could buy one. Anybody could, you know, get a blue check or whatever the case is. So it's just like, yeah, I would agree that it is going to get harder to authenticate. I'm just questioning if this is the right path that we want to do that. And can people, not just Sam Altman or just like companies or people, you know, institutions like them, can we trust them with such information for the tail end of a slight benefit? Yeah, man, I think it's, you know, taking a little bit of advantage of the people in Kenya. They're still waiting on their bread. Of course, $49 US in their country is probably worth a lot. So, of course, you're going to see 1 million people standing in a line waiting to scan their eyeball because dudes are hungry. Dudes need to put food on their plate. Dudes don't know how to pay their phone bill, whatever the case is, in a third world country. So, of course, I just found it interesting that this WorldCoin is not available in the United States of America, at least not yet, which I thought was interesting. So are you testing it on third world countries? Do you want to, you know, is this your means of a rebuttal of, you know, defense against foreign countries where you're scanning their biometrics, as maybe China's already doing it to us, or Russia? Who knows? I don't know, folks. These are just ideas, man. I'm just spewing at the top of my head. But all of it is iffy to me. It sounds a little bit iffy. Sounds a little bit sketchy, man. I want to hear your thoughts, folks. What do you think about WorldCoin and things like it? Like I said, yeah, I get it. Yeah, we've already been scanning our eyes and, you know, facial ID. Yeah, I get it. But doesn't this one seem a little bit weird? Why does Sam Altman want to scan our eyeballs? There's so many other WorldCoins that there's so many other forms of cryptocurrency that already exist before this that have been doing just fine. My understanding, what are the cases? What's this scan the eyeball to get some cryptocurrency that can fluctuate in value at a drop of a dime for your eyeball? Is that a fair exchange? All I'm asking is, does it make sense? Is it a fair exchange? And who do you think is getting taken advantage of in the situation? What are your thoughts, folks? Of course, I'd love to hear them down in the comment section below. As I mentioned, as always, the likes, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated, folks. Drop your ideas, questions, comments, concerns. Let's form a dialogue down in the comment section, folks. I want to hear your thoughts. Can we trust Sam Altman and this WorldCoin?